Welcome back, and we are in the final week of the data analysis, and then we'll have another week to work on the presentations and the papers. What you see on the screen here is really, for this week, we just have to create these final tables. And as I had stated in the week 4 videos, because I had to change everything, it took me a while to kind of figure out how I wanted to reassemble the final results table. And so here's what we need to do. First, we need to copy and paste as a picture or linked picture the final priority information or tables that we calculate. So I've got all 6 of them here. My 904s are on the top here. My resident handling are just a little bit below. And when they're a picture, we can manipulate them. We can make them smaller, or bigger, depending on what we need to be able to read, right? So here are I'm going to show you the 3 tables that we need to build this week. And I made it into 3 tables to try and make it so that it's easier to copy and paste to Word. So looking out for you guys. So the first one here, and obviously I haven't made it pretty yet, I'm about to do that, is I've got the priority number. Now this should be sorted at some point, but we'll get to it when we get to the end. The class code, the cause, and then this is the table information. So what I probably should do is create a merge center, and this is results table, annual averages. Because the next one is the figures. Probably just do this, right? Yep. Okay. That's a little bit better. So I've got my 6. Now these are some of the changes that I made as I try to figure out what should we combine together, what tells a story or an element of the story. And this one provides the, like I had just said, the table results. So, oh, I didn't need to do that. I just need to do that. So the tables we created, so these are the table results where we're trying to get the averages of things. That's what I put in here. And here's what's interesting, and this is why I like this more than my previous methodology, is I've got the totals here like I do in my other one, but then I put the company-wide stuff. Now where did I find this stuff? Well, I found it back when we did the trending. So this is the trending information from the tables that we use for the trending way back when, and I've got it with and without the outliers. And then what I did is I took a percentage of what our priorities held versus what the company-wide stuff is. And this is what's so interesting, that our 6 priorities, and this is narrowed. It's not just 20% of the class code or 20% of the cause. If you think of all the different combinations that are out there, it's much, much lower than that. But we're accounting for, well, if you look at it from, this is with and without outliers, right? With and without outliers. Oh yeah, I forgot to put that in. Shoot. This is with outliers, this is without. This is with, this is without, and then this is the amount that's out. And so I need to add that. So correct that. I'll do that in a moment. We're just under 50% of the claims, but for the totals, we're up over, it's almost 64% here. We're at 84% with the outliers included. And then if we look at the outliers that are covered within our 6 priorities, look at that. An average right around 95%. That's what's most interesting to me, because one of the questions I had posed way back when, and you guys can go back and look at it, it was week 2, and I was talking about the outliers, is I wonder what amount of these outliers will end up showing up in our priorities. Because again, the priorities were selected based on when the outliers were removed. And so I think that's what's most interesting here, that we covered most of it. Most of it's covered. And that's what that basically means, is there's not a difference between what our most frequent causes are, because that's one of our primary things, primary indications, measures, justifications, but they're the same. So look back at the SIF articles you're supposed to read. They say it's different. Our data shows differently. Goes along with what I've seen in the past. Oh, I've got other data down here. Again, I was copying and pasting tables. I could have copy and pasted some figures, some figures where we were trending it, but I just basically wrote that stuff down and brought it forward. So this is all manually entered. So then I made another one, and this is just the results from the figures. So this is results from figures, trending, and forecasting. And again, I just made this, and I've been thinking about it. I'm happy with it. So we've got our 6 priorities. We've got what it said on the figure, and then I've also got the trend and what the slope of the line is. Downward is obviously negative, upward is positive. I decided to do that. No, I probably should put it per year, and I think I will. I'll have to go in and do that. Again, this was a lot of work trying to get this all updated. So this is all should be per year. And then I've got the totals, just like I did before. I've got the company-wide. So then I took, these are the totals, or the forecasted totals from the tables that we made. I'm sorry, the figures that we made when we did the trending. And again, we're at a very good percent represented here. Primarily, the estimation has to do with the here I've got the outliers include, outliers removed. It's very similar, and we do know that company-wide did trend downward, but the number of claims themselves did trend upward. So we do know that. I didn't put that in there because it was pretty much always up. It was hard to get away from that, but still great representation here. We can compare it to that one. The final table, the one in which this is where we figure out this is how we're going to get management to invest to support the safety program. I've got my 6 priorities here, and this is where I need to resort now, and I'm going to do that in a moment, is that based on these 6 priorities, we're estimating about $173,500 in benefits paid in 2023. And with a 25% return on investment assumed, we're asking for just under $140,000. And that can be rounded very easily. I would like to rearrange this by the amounts that are paid, and I'm still going to keep that in order. So I'm going to data, sort, and I'm going to do it. I can either do it by forecasted loss or requested investment, either or. And it's going to be high to low. That's all that should really change. So here we go. There, now I've got my actual prioritized, and what I should do now is go back and change all of these. So let's see what this would look like. So priority total, I think what I'll do is merge these. It's weird to have kind of like open there for that. It's kind of cool. I can highlight this now, format as a table. This is my number 1 table. You know what I mean? And some of you might have some different looks and things like that. What should I go with? I think I will go with this. Hit OK. Now, it changed it a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and remove the filters here. I guess I could have done this first and then filtered it. That would have been easier, possibly. But also, I don't mind when the things aren't just on one single line. And so I'm going to bring that down a little bit. So this is the main. Oh, do I have to recombine this? Does it not let me do that? I guess it doesn't. So I'll put it back right there. Oh, too bad. Too bad. I thought it would let me merge it. It's not liking it. Whatever. I don't really care. Fix that later. So there's my final table. And then I'm going to do something pretty with these two. I'm going to add the years to it. But so this is really what we've been working to. The whole project has been working to this point. I let the data kind of tell us which way to go. And we're now presenting the full picture to management. How is the safety program performing? What kind of data do we have? Where should we focus? And all that work you did came down to 6 priority areas. And what's interesting is, 2 of the 6 priorities are resident patient handling for 2 different class codes. 2 are for slip, trip, and fall. And so even though, we're asking for this much to study, all these areas to try to really, what was the root cause? Because obviously whatever we were trying before wasn't working because these things seem to be continuing. at a higher frequency, maybe less severity, but still costing the company money. And we need to find out really what's a better consideration of root causes, and then number two, what are better consideration for solutions. Given that we know how much, or we have a conservative estimate of what it's going to cost the company for all 6 of these, let's invest, let's say 140,000, but it's 138.8. We can round to the nearest biggest number. That's a lot of money that we can use for coming up with a better design of things, better tools, maybe we have to bring in an expert to try to understand it more. But mostly what we'd like to do is change the design of work, improve the design of the work system that allows the worker to get the job done successfully, safely, and hopefully elicit some satisfaction. So we'll really be talking to the workers and supervisors in these areas when they're doing these tasks to really understand what can we do to make it better, or as best as humanly possible, given the constraints that we've created here. Again, conservative estimate of what the losses are going to be, and a conservative request on investment that we should be able to at least provide a 25% return on that investment. That what we discover here should be able to be extended beyond the scope that we have here, and actually the payback should be even more. That's really what we're getting to. So that's the main. So I'm going to make these tables prettier and add some stuff here. That's what I want you to do. Again, we've got the 6 priorities. I'm going to resort these so that they all align as they should, so that management understands. I could do something as simple as reassigning numbers over here and then sorting it by that, as long as my totals stay all the same. Yeah, why don't we do that just to make it easier? So 9041, that's still number 1. Slip, trip, and fall, this goes to a 4. 3 is right here. Oops, sorry. 3 is right here. What's the material handling? That's now going to be 2. Slip, trip, and fall, 883 is now 5, and then this is 6. So not a lot has to be shifted around. Actually, just these 3. And so I'm just going to sort these by, you know what? I should do the whole thing. I'm being silly here. Let's just do all of this. Sort by, well, now you have to do column M. And smallest to largest, that's right. Boom. There we go. Now everything is here. I just have to do it for the next one too, and then make it look pretty. And I could just make this the title. That this is the table X, results table annual averages, results from figures, and then the final recommendations. So I'll let you go ahead and do that. In the next video, what I'd like to do is actually go through all the tabs and kind of talk about it leading up to this final results tab. And then the third video, what I'm going to do is try to break it down into how I would put it together for a technical report leading up to the ultimate presentation, which would be the executive summary and likely your PowerPoint for your presentation.